Welcome to Business Finance. For many of you, this unit will be merely a part of your course, and your course may not have anything to do with finance at all. In fact, you may not have any interest in finance. However, I would like you to think about the advantages and uses of an understanding of finance in our world. Finance has become probably one of the most important areas in our lives. We tend to think that lots of things are important. When you look at it, the most important part of your life is probably going to be spent paying off your home mortgage, if you are organised well enough to be able to have one in the first place. For all of us, as we go through our life, we're going to be thinking about superannuation and how to prepare for our retirement. And to be able to do both of those things requires an understanding of finance. That's regardless of whether you're a butcher, a baker, an accountant, whatever you are. It's because finance is one of those magical parts of the business world that turns a particular physical situation, be it a business or a lump of money that you're hiding under your bed, into the most useful form it can for your purposes. It does that without you actually doing anything. If you are a butcher or a baker, you have to work very hard. You have to know your trade, you have to work hard at it, you have to build up your business, organise your clients and your employees and your suppliers and many things to get your business to run. But if you get your financial settings wrong, regardless of how good you are at that, you'll find your business will fail. However, in other situations, people with very ordinary business plans are able to become very wealthy simply by their understanding of finance. And so finance is this mysterious force in the business world. It's actually a mysterious force for the rest of our world as well, to the extent that, especially over the last couple of 100 years or so, finance has become a very deeply studied and well-polished part of our public life. This is everybody's public life. Certainly businesses, most of what we're going to be dealing with is going to be businesses, but it also applies to our private life. But it still has this strange and almost magical quality of being completely independent of what the business is all about, unless the business happens to be a bank. In this unit, we'll introduce you to some of the major concepts and mechanisms, the theories, the practice, the mathematics of this curious subject. And we'll give you the opportunity to not only be able to better understand the organisations you work in, perhaps give better advice to other people if you're working towards a occupation where you will be using financial advice, giving financial advice, perhaps as a specialised financial planner, perhaps as an accountant with clients who are interested in optimising their businesses rather than simply getting you to add up the beans and give them a profit and loss statement. Perhaps as a property investor or even a property developer. Perhaps just to enable you to understand the businesses where you might be operating as a human resources specialist, or perhaps in marketing or whatever. And so finance, as I say, doesn't contribute to any of those direct occupational skills that might actually happen to make money, but it makes money without actually doing anything physical. That's the invitation that we have for you. In this unit, we're going to be providing you with many resources from Moodle, and so I recommend to you to keep up to date with those. Start working through the resources from day one. There is a lot more on Moodle than you'll be able to work through in an evening or what have you, and so it's something that requires constant application of your attention, your interest. Hopefully, if you start to discover the potentials in this unusual area of human society, it will become a bit of a fascination for you, and so you'll find getting your head around the theories and then also the mathematics becomes a bit of a hobby and interest, almost like a detective story where you get to work out how these strange mechanisms work. You will find that a fair bit of the work has to do with mathematics, and that can be quite scary for a lot of people, and especially given the rather unfortunate way that mathematics is taught at school, which causes an inordinate number of people to really be nothing less than fearful, afraid of mathematics. The maths in finance is found all the way through it, so it's time to get yourself a maths tutor if you're seriously scared of it. But in a more positive way, I would recommend that you use it as an opportunity to actually turn mathematics from something that is feared to something which is a friend and a tool. There is a story about Einstein, whose mathematics teacher proclaimed to the class that Einstein was never going to amount to anything in the mathematical area. Why? Because he felt very much like many of you might, that mathematics is this arcane and scary thing which is almost totally unintelligible. And poor Einstein is the fellow who invented relativity and probably one of the greatest physicists of the last few hundred years, and heavy-duty mathematician, had an uncle. And the uncle told him not to be afraid of maths, and in fact to treat it like an adventure. And instead of algebra being something where X is this ugly unknown thing that you have to juggle around mysteriously, it becomes like the mark on a treasure map where you work very hard for the excitement of discovering what X means. And you apply that to mathematics in general. And apparently young Einstein went from hating maths and being an absolute dunce at it to being a leader in his field, and in fact one of the men who really changed the world through his mathematics. We're not expecting you to come out as Einsteins, but I do hope that in approaching the more mathematical work in this unit, you do get something of the thrill that Einstein has when he went from treating maths as something scary to be avoided to being a friend, a tool, the path on an adventure to find something really useful. And finding the really useful things that maths can do in the finance world is simply extraordinary. I won't go into too much of that now, but I will give you a little bit of a hint that being able to use the, I would say, in the ultimate sense of things, relatively simple maths, it's nothing like Einstein's physics and the mathematics of relativity. In fact, it's really a little more than remedial Year 9 algebra. You will find a relatively small set of tools, of equations, that once you master them, you can apply either to your business life, in either making your business run, giving advice to clients who want to get the best financial performance, profit performance from their businesses, or even in your personal life, in managing how to navigate your life of work into a very comfortable retirement, because you'll be able to basically understand how to design the most optimal performance for the work that you do and the salary you get paid over, the rest of your working life, the coming decades. So, finance offers quite a lot, but in an unexpected way. And in this unit, we introduce you to the mysterious area of finance. I do recommend that you approach it as an adventure rather than a chore. And if you do that, both in terms of the theory and the mathematics, I think you'll find the whole experience of studying business finance a very pleasurable adventure.